I have gotten in trouble many times in life, especially in my youth, especially when I was younger, for being disrespectful to certain people. Not everybody, just certain people. And it kind of goes like this. It's kind of like a storyline. Good writers will have a main plot, and underneath it there will be subplots and sub-storylines, things that are going on. And I found out that meeting people is a lot like that, almost like metadata. There you see what you see on top, and your critical mind is putting things together, and it's there's a lot going on all the time. You're perceiving millions of things at any given moment. And so your critical mind is saying, well, this person is whatever they drive, how they dress, how they speak, whatever. And it doesn't match the way you feel about this person. The intuition is completely off. And I find it impossible to be respectful to people that when that soul signature is made aware, or I'm made aware of it, that I can toe the line and just go with the flow. I find that really difficult. I always have. I've refrained for a really long time, even like the last thing that I put out. I've refrained from putting out certain things on here for a super long time because it wasn't in quite the scope of narcissism. But these things all tie together, especially in the societal narcissism, that a lot of people don't have your best interest. They're very narcissistic. There's a lot of them, and there's more and more because the psychopaths in charge, it's not that they give them a verbal, I mean, they could give them a verbal permission, but it's like society itself it rewards that kind of behavior. It doesn't reward honesty. It doesn't reward goodness. It doesn't reward the things that it used to. It's all been turned upside down by these monsters. But in my whole life, I haven't been able to put up with it, and I've watched it change. I'm at just the right, I hate to bring up my age, God, just the right age to have seen where things were in working order and things were, I would say, relatively happy and safe and sane, to some of the most insane things that I've seen. I can't even believe, I didn't think it was going to get this bad, which is why I started mentioning the stuff on the last channel. The last thing that I put out, that when you feel like something's wrong around some of these people, something is definitely wrong. The intuition is something that we're taught not to, especially if you've been raised around a narcissist, that your intuition is something that they if they don't talk you out of it, they beat it out of you to where you're not listening to yourself at all. You know, we have a built-in navigation system that, it can keep you safe. It can take you in the right direction. It could help you make better decisions. But if you're told the whole time that this person is a good person and this person is a bad person, and which is probably totally opposite if it's coming out of a narcopath's mouth or any one of our politicians now, when you're gaslit like that so often, it screws up your ability to recognize the truth. And then once your ability to recognize the truth has been skewed or altered, it's going to happen to the other people around you as well. There's really no avoiding anything like that. That's why the society's become the way it has. And they know what they're doing. A lot of what, like the narcissist, I don't think they read a playbook on how to behave, but the people that are currently, and I'm saying currently because this isn't going to last forever, they're currently, I hate to say in charge, but they're in charge. A lot of people there's a lot of really bad people that are in charge that they give you a lot of really bad advice. And they own the theaters, they own Hollywood, and they're in key positions of our government. And government, I heard something the other day which was interesting to basically government is just really a form of mind control, and everyone is starting to wake up to this. At least I hope they are. I forgot to mention, I forgot last time too. If you've hung out with me for this long, I really do appreciate it. God, there's so many people that are making so much content that I don't even know who I would listen to, but thank you for hanging out with me for a minute. So anyway, I do like I really do appreciate the comments. That's kind of that's at least that's my payment for this. I don't try to sell you a coffee cup or get you to donate or anything. So please comment. So I don't care if you like or subscribe, but I like to hear what people have to say. So anyway, moving on. If you're like me and if you're on these subjects, and you probably are, you've picked up on the metadata that people put out all the time. And being taught not to listen to it, it just gets you in further away from the truth. It's going to be further and further. It's just into more and more suffering. And eventually we have to come to terms with what our true nature is telling us. And so many of us have been talked out of, I can't even tell you how many times I've been talked out of things that would have been good for me and even the people around me by people that I trusted that were narcissists, narcopaths. And it's so sad to think of the opportunities that had been wasted because I listened to the wrong people. Especially if you're raised by one. I remember again, I have a really, really good memory on some things. It's super, super clear, and it goes all the way back to birth. So I know you may not believe that, but I remember the day. So anyway, I remember discussing, telling my mother that she was a liar in so many words when I was, 4 or 5 years old. And I don't remember what it was about, but she was just lying right to my face. And I knew it then. But as I got older and as we progress, I ended up not listening to what was happening inside, because these are the people that you count on. These are the people that are around to make sure that you're safe. But she would send me into situations that were not safe, send me into humiliating situations, send me into things. It's the bad advice that's cloaked as good advice. And later on I realized that God, I can't even tell how many times it happened. It was just amazing to me that somebody would do that to their kid. But anyway, I never even knew one thing about myself, and not even as a young adult. I was so far out from all this. Only when I became aware of cluster B personality disorders did I even start to figure out what I was about, because I'd been listening to these people for, since birth, and then I found some other people that were much worse in other areas, and not much better in any other area really, who rely on the same things. I'm not saying that I'm the most honest person in the world. I'll lie right to your face. I don't care, especially if I think you're a narcissist or you're one of these psychos. It's this metadata, this information that's going on underneath all the time that we need to pay attention to. I think people are starting to get it too. I know that things look a certain way, and I fall for it a lot, and even today. And I think I know someone. Then it's after I walk off from the meeting, after I walk off from an interaction, only then do I realize that I've been manipulated or lied to. I can't say it never hits me, but rarely does it hit me all at once. The general feeling of someone will hit me nearly immediately. But these are traits of a narcissist. These are the traits. This is the dark path. This is the dark magic, if you will, of what these people do. And they can disrupt. This is actually, listen, I want you to listen to this. This is really important. I don't want it to sound so simple that it's just like a stream of data or consciousness that's underneath when you're talking to someone. But they can disrupt your weather, your personal weather, the way things are, just by being around some of them, especially if you're close to one. I had no idea that, you can always tell you a lot of things. I remember, but I do remember saying things to the narcopath that it wasn't a married to. It's like, something's going on and I don't know what it is. Why it is when you walk in and around me, things just don't feel right. And the whole time I was being gaslit and lied to and manipulated and stabbing me in the back. And my inside is just, it's screaming the whole time that something's wrong. You're in danger. And because I try to do what it is that I say I'm going to do, I should have walked off years before, but I stuck around for many years, basically the whole time, especially when I started waking up. Man, it makes them real uncomfortable. They turn up the heat for sure. But it was telling me the whole time, hey man, you're in a bad situation. You're in a dangerous situation. I had no idea how dangerous it was. It was dangerous enough, me not listening to it, that I got poisoned and almost died. And some other times that I almost died from these people, from the hands of these monsters. So you got to start listening to your gut. You have to listen to it. This is where the truth, I firmly believe this, that people are waking up big time right now, that if you let our intuition guide us to better situations. I don't want to sound too poetic. I don't like it when people don't. I want your intuition to guide you to the light. Just bear with me. I'm trying to not. I want to give it to you straight. I don't want to give you opinions. I do want to take us to something lighter than this. We're in a really bad time right now. There's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of this shit with these data centers and these people that are manipulating our currency and dumping populations in countries that people aren't compatible. They know what they're doing. This is all completely by design. And if we hadn't been gaslit so bad our whole lives, we would have probably already taken care of these people. Vote them out. Look, I'm not telling you to do anything illegal, okay? So, but we would have probably been somewhere else, but maybe now is the time, So watch how you feel when you're around people, that signature, even if nothing ever happens. If you watch that, if you feel that, that's probably closer to the truth than what your analytical mind is telling us. And a lot of us are really smart folks, but, if we're relying solely on our analytics, then we might be led astray or into some situation that's not good for us. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I really do. It's I never went anywhere. I just really didn't have a whole lot to say, but I might be talking about some other things here soon. So anyway, with that, I wish you health, happiness, prosperity, freedom from suffering, and that you live your lives with ease.